Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here. Happy December. Hello to all my, loyal subscribers, those of you who have been here and continue to watch the videos no matter how inconsistent or random the upload schedule is. But I hope everyone out there is having a happy holidays, and you can find some, love, connection, friendship, family at this time of the year, I know. Um, but yeah, I digress. In today's video, several things. One, I want to share with you my experiences with Delta 9 CBD. I discovered that earlier this year. Long story short, I fell into an addictive pattern with Delta 9, similar to with weed. And for those of you who don't know what Delta 9 is, I don't know the science of it. I don't know the exact specifics of it. But in terms of its effect, I do believe it's a derivative of the cannabis plant, right? Just like how CBD is and THC is, Delta 9 is also, I believe, from the cannabis plant. And it provides more of a kick than CBD, but not nearly like THC. Um, and I would equate it to very, very weak shake, maybe a little bit above weak shake. And so it's really not that much, but it does provide a kick. And for stoners, especially those of us who are trying to kick the smoking weed habit, it's quite the alternative in terms of it's the best thing I could come up with. But that's not really the point. The point is that similar with marijuana, I found myself abusing it, even though it didn't provide that strong of a high that didn't even last that long. And similarly, as I was abusing it, right, I'm hiding away. And that's just me, right? This was my pattern. I hide away and I put myself in a little box, right, my bedroom, and I cut off everything, my responsibilities, my relationships, my own personal health, and I center my whole agenda and my whole day around just being able to just like do nothing and smoke, whether it's hit the vape pen or I've got this Delta 9 flower, um, and it was shocking to me to see that despite the high not even being that great, I would still abuse it. And to me, that just goes to show my history with THC, right? My abusive history with smoking, and to put kind of like my own addictive personality or addictive patterns behind it aside, logistically speaking, objectively speaking, it doesn't make sense for me to do this. It doesn't make sense for me to do this. I'm reading this book right now called The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Alan Carr. It's mostly about smoking cigarettes, which is not something I deal with, but the patterns and the things we tell ourselves as it pertains to smoking, whether it's weed, CBD, or even tobacco, it's similar, right? It's like I'm gonna lose my relaxation, I'm gonna lose my fun, I'm gonna be bored. I don't want to miss out on smoking with friends. Things of that nature, or I can do it. It's not the worst. I could still do it, whatever. And then I did the math. I did the math. First of all, not only did I spend $1,600 this year on these Delta 9 products, but to take a step back and zoom out, I've been dealing with, whether it's THC or Delta 9 in this case, I've been dealing with this whole back and forth, abusing it, quitting, taking a break, starting, abusing, binging, quitting, taking a break. I'm done for good. You know what? Just this once. You know what? This time will be better. Fuck this. I don't need this. Right? This whole back and forth, this seesaw tug of war with how do I fit this fucking thing in my life? It's been 10 years, over 10 years. And to create some context, when I first created this channel, the one thing I really wanted to accomplish was to just be done with like the addictive victimhood. When am I going to be done with this? No matter what I do, I can't stop. Because at the time when I made this channel, it was the case where I couldn't even go a day without smoking, and it was embarrassing. It was like, you know what? No, we're not going to smoke today. We're going to take a break. And within like an hour, I'm smoking. And so there's a lot of shame, a lot of self-consciousness, a lot of guilt, and I had no sense of empowerment whatsoever. And over time, right, through my inner work, through the work I did and the experience, I was able to gain a sense of empowerment and at the very least take ownership, right? If I'm continuing to smoke, it's because I'm choosing to. If I don't smoke, it's because I'm choosing to. And it's important to stick to our word, right? And develop the muscle of just discipline and long story short, developing discipline. And so, eventually I developed the skill of being able, if I needed to stop, I would stop, right? Like I developed this whole routine, this whole pattern of, all right, you know what, we've binged enough. And I've shared it with you guys on the channel. We've binged enough. On Monday, let's stop. And I would stop, right? But then eventually sometime down the road, right, whether it's a couple weeks or a couple months or what have you, I'll convince myself that smoking is something that I can do, and that I'll just do it this one time or this moderated way, but then that ends up turning to a binge, and then I have to make one of these fucking videos, exposing myself to y'all, you know what I mean? But so I got a handle on like the whole victimhood part of it. What I've been trying to figure out, and maybe some of you too, for yourself, but also have noticed watching my videos, observing me, is like I was so conflicted on, can I still fit this into my life? Can I find a way to actually be responsible with it, right? Because as a stoner, as you and I can relate, it's like, why would I want to get rid of marijuana, right? If I could, I would keep it around because it's fun, it can relax, right? All these things I tell myself. But if I look at the film, and I don't mean the film of YouTube, I mean, like in sports, you look at the game after the fact on video so you can study. If I look at the film, if I study my behaviors in the past, it really wasn't like marijuana was benefiting me. And this is what's so crazy, right? Yes, maybe I get a momentary sense of relaxation. At best, I'm like dancing. But 99% of the time, my door's closed, I'm cut off from everyone, I'm smoking, and I'm just like this. I'm just like, I'm fucking stuffing my face, I'm wasting money on THC, I'm wasting money on Delta 9, I'm wasting money on DoorDash, and all the meanwhile, all my responsibilities are fucking going by the wayside. And so I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I so desperate to keep this in my life? And I think you and I kind of know what that's about. It's like you don't want to give something up, right? But it kind of turns out that what's most painful is like not having the option. But that's such low-hanging fruit and such like that's what I'm going to trade. And to have the option to smoke, I'm going to trade my sense of well-being, my relationships with my family, my own mental health, my own self-esteem, right? And the ripples that go along with that, like, my relationship with my girlfriend like goes up in fucking flames. And I'm being dramatic, but my point is I go AWOL, guys. And that's just me. I don't know about y'all, but that's just me. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And as you guys might sense, I'm hesitant to say anything like I'm done for good. I don't really like final statements like that. What I'm committed to is like, I'm tired, man. Like, I'm tired of trying to fit this shit in my life. And another thing, right, looking at the film, every time I stop, my life feels and goes infinitely better, right? Not just saving money, not just having more energy, but just my sense of inner peace and just my sense of fulfillment and genuine happiness goes way up. And this is something the Easy Way to Stop Smoking book by Alan Carr has helped me understand. It's like, oh my God, wait a second, right? Because in our mind, quitting, right, or letting go of marijuana equals pain. It's like we're sacrificing something. It's like we're going to lose something. When in reality, I'm gaining something. And keeping marijuana around in my life is what has me lose. And so that's something to take in consideration, man. And I'm not here trying to convince people to stop. I'm here trying to, first of all, be an example of just being honest with ourselves. But mostly for what I want for you guys is for you to get in line with what you think is best for yourself in general. And if that's so happy, and if I could just be, for those of you who are kind of on the fence of like, man, you know what, I can relate to this guy, right? Like I keep trying to find a way to fit into my life, yet that doesn't seem to really do much. That doesn't really seem to bring much positive energy other than, like, I don't know, the ability to get high, right? And so if that is you, I would love to be an example of what's possible. And just, you may not need it, but I'm not even going to go there, right? I was going to say, I'm giving you the permission to quit. That's not really what I'm here to do. My point is just to share the revelations I've come for myself, and the ultimate conclusion I came to is I don't want to spend the next 10 years, because I just spent the last 10 years wasting my fucking time trying to fit this in my life, energy, mental space, emotional energy, trying to figure this thing out, so desperately trying to keep this shit in my life. And I'm not here to bash Delta 9 or bash weed. I'm here to get real with my fucking self. It was never about bashing weed or bashing Delta 9 and making that the problem. The problem is me, how I abuse it, and me not making the changes I need to make and making the decisions I need to make for what's best for me. Just like how when I first started smoking, it was my fault that I wasn't responsible and that I abused it and I didn't put any boundaries. That was my fault. That was never weed's fault. Granted, weed does give you a lot of dopamine, and so of course your brain's gonna crave it. But I don't blame the pizza for making me eat it. You know what I mean? And on this channel and in general, I'm not interested in giving away, my personal power to the substance, right? I'm about taking ownership. We're about taking ownership. But unfortunately, we got to end this video in about a minute because I don't have that much memory space. But in the next video, in the following videos, I'm going to talk about my commitment to go the next year, year by year, but next year, beginning with next year, the whole year, no Delta 9, no THC. And if you're into that journey and maybe you want to join in for yourself, leave something down below in the comments. But the point is that, man, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm tired. Here's the thing, right? Like, you've heard that from me before. I've heard that from me before. And again, just trying to set example. It's people, we're going to have our own doubts within ourselves. Other people may have their doubts, but it's on us to show up, have integrity and prove it, right, day in and day out. And so I look forward to doing that. I'm not sure when the next video will be. I'm sure it will be sometime soon. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Again, happy holidays. I hope this video encouraged you in some way, brought you some sense of inspiration, motivation, or just clarity. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.